Brynne, have you seen Steel Magnolias?
Oh my god, yes, I love that movie.
Jonesy, you've seen it, right?
Hey, Tony.
Yeah.
You've seen Dracula, right?
Oh, I love that movie. It's so good.
Lena, you've seen it. What do you think?
Filmspringa!
Hey, Brynne, have you seen Weekend at Bernie's?
Oh my god, Weekend at Bernie's saved my life.
Jonesy, you have to have seen it.
Oh my god, no, I haven't. Of course not. You've seen Nightmare on Elm Street. It's the best.
That movie scared the out of me when I was a
You know,
kid.
did it scare the out of you? I have not seen that one, and I will be praying for all of your souls.
It's your Rumspringa, Lena.
Haven't seen it.
It's showtime!
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Filmspringa, the podcast about all of your favorite films and your sheltered friend that's never seen them. I am Tony, and I'm here with...
Brynne, I'm Brynne.
Yeah, Brynne. But Brynne, you want to be called what now?
Oh, I would like to be called LA Times published author.
Yeah, you got an article, an essay published in the LA Times. Good for you.
Thanks. I would like to be introduced that at parties, Zoom meetings, everywhere. Yeah.
When you walk into a bar, they just
Yep,
shout
exactly. I'd like to be announced like an old school
God.
empress. Yeah.
Now we're here with our sheltered friend.
I'm Jonesy.
Yes, Jonesy. And you guys, this week, we're talking all about one of my favorite films, the 1994 Australian road comedy, one of the best queer films ever made, The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Oh, so
Yay.
good.
Yeah, this is actually producer Rob's one of his favorite movies, and he doesn't know anything about movies.
Never
at
seen
all.
anything.
He's worse than actually Jonesy, so it's hilarious that he's producing this show. But this is the one movie, like, we were watching it the other one this week, and he's saying all the lines. I'm like, where the hell did this come from? You never know any other lines.
He's turning into a real Tony or Brynne.
I
you know?
know. I was so proud of him.
I love it.
So, Brynne, before we get to the plot and everything, should we watch the
Yes,
trailer,
let's
get
watch the
everybody in the
trailer.
mood for some Priscilla? Let's
Yes,
do that.
please.
They're ready for stardom. They're ready for fame. They're ready for their close-up.
First I was afraid, I was petrified. Kept thinking I could never live without you by
Come on, girls. Let's go shopping.
This is the story of three hard-working guys
What kind of cabaret do you do?
We dress up in women's clothes and parade around mouthing the words to other people's songs.
who are about to discover
Ta-da!
Been asked to do a show out of town.
How long is the run?
4 weeks.
that hitting the road is hard.
I hereby christen this budget Barbie camper Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Especially in heels.
Sorry.
Along the way, they'll discover surprises,
It's Gabardine! I haven't seen Gabardine for years!
uncover secrets,
Is it true that her real name's Ralph?
I'm gonna smack his face so hard.
and learn that with friends like these,
How long have we been on the road?
4.5 hours.
life's never a drag.
What's happening?
I don't know.
Oh my God. Where are we? You got us into this, and I suggest you start thinking about how to get us back.
I mean, who runs this bloody hotel in the middle of nowhere anyway?
My wife. I'm married.
This is getting too weird. Come on, girls.
Rehearsal time.
Haven't got any kids stashed away out there as well, have you?
Mr. Belrose?
Yes?
It's a boy. You actually make money by dressing up like a woman.
Oh, sure. You can make a fine living in a pair of heels.
Prepare for a comedy that just may change the way you think.
Tony, Adam, this is Mr. and Mrs. Spencer. Hello.
Oh, wait!
The way you feel.
Who taught you to waltz?
My wife.
And most of all,
Aren't we fabulous?
the way you dress.
How many times do I have to tell you green is not your color?
The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Do you have the Texas Chainsaw Mascara?
Now there's a gentleman.
I love the music for this movie.
The music
so
is so
much.
good.
Yes.
The soundtrack is phenomenal.
It's
our
so
second
good.
movie in a row
with
with
a great
the
soundtrack.
killer soundtrack.
I know. So Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. And it was a 1994 Australian road comedy directed by Stephen Elliott, starring Hugh Weaving, Guy Pearce, a very young Guy Pearce, and Terrence Stamp, which I totally forgot for a bit he was in it. And he usually
So
plays
graceful.
bad guys. Yeah.
Yes, he's always a bad guy.
A bad guy. Yeah.
I loved it.
So Brynne, give us a rundown of the plot very briefly.
So it is about 3 people, and so I'm gonna be so bad at this.
You want me to do it? I'll do it.
You do it, Tony.
Okay, so it's about 3 drag queens, but it's mainly about Mitzi, or Trick is the guy's name, or Tick. And he is working in Sydney. Then he gets a job offer to go to another city in Australia in the outback. So he gets his friend Bernadette and Adam to join him, and they get a giant bus and they pack in all their drag and go through the outback of Australia, and a bunch of shit happens.
It's a journey of self-discovery.
Self-discovery and
with an
friendship.
awesome soundtrack and amazing costumes.
It won an Oscar for the costumes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know one of the most iconic looks or costumes in the film is that what's it called? The thong dress with the sandal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want that dress.
Right? They say I was reading something on it where they said it was only cost $7 to make.
I bet.
And yet
That's
they won an
amazing.
Oscar for it. So.
I was
Yeah,
thinking
but then-
Halloween costume right there. I can make that.
Yeah.
Part of it is that we find out that Mitzi, so we think that they are all going because Mitzi has gotten a job, but really we find out that Mitzi is married to a woman.
And has a child
Has a
who's
child,
8
and
years
it's-
old.
Yes. So it's very, they're discovering things about their friendship.
Yeah.
Bernadette's husband has just died.
Yeah, Trumpet.
And Trumpet.
I know.
And
And so she's kind of like don't want to be at home because she's grieving.
she's
and
just
so
grieving. And so Mitzi's like, come with us. And Felicia is like a, devil may care sort of
snotty.
Yeah, thumbing your nose at society, youngin.
Young gay.
And it's an unlikely trio making their way with an awesome soundtrack, a lot of really good-looking martinis in a bus, throughout the Australian outback.
Yeah, and there's some ping pongs.
Loving it. My favorite part. Oh my gosh.
I know. The ping pong scene always gets me.
I forgot about that.
I know. So, Brynne, when was the first time you saw this movie? I'm really curious. And you got to give us your horny meter on it.
Oh, the horny meter is out of control in this movie. I remember it being fun and horny. And there isn't any actual boning, but it has like a horny energy that I was like, yeah, this was like the horniness that I like, because they're talking about sex, and all
Guy
that.
Pearce is half naked pretty much the whole movie.
The whole movie, which
Yeah.
I'm very into. And I saw this movie for the first time in middle school.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Which is
You're
like
young.
not
You're
too-
a child.
I was a young child, but you know what? For like whatever, it's such a wholesome movie. And I think people like, obviously, people that are like hateful are like, wouldn't, oh God, this is probably going to come back to bite me when Lena talks about her family. Would be like, oh, this is not a wholesome movie, but it's like one of the most wholesome movies you will ever see. It is about friendship and acceptance.
Yeah.
And like, it's just so.
And
like,
about father and son.
Father and son, just like being yourself and like accepting yourself and having that friendship. So I just remember seeing it and thinking like, how lovely is this? And I remember thinking like, it would be so nice to have friends like that. Obviously, the costumes and like the makeup and stuff and the music to me was like insane. And I was a little theater kid.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is amazing. And I want to be stuck in the desert with Felicia and Bernadette and Mitzi.
Bernadette. Right.
Yeah, I am rewatching it. It's still, I watched this with a gentleman friend of mine and he was like, why do you keep smiling like that? And I was like, it's just as good. I haven't seen it in a while and it's so sweet and wholesome and all this stuff. But you know what my favorite part was? What? Obviously when Guy Pearce says the cocaine.
Cocaine?
Cocaine?
I was waiting for that accent to come out this episode.
I screamed it.
You did?
Yeah.
What did your gentleman friend think of the film?
He was not surprised because he listens to the podcast.
Oh, okay.
And so he was like, I know about your cocaine.
Your cocaine.
So this is not, because I was like, there's one thing I can say. And he's like, I know, I listen to your podcast. And I was like, ugh. I should, and now I don't have any stories left. I tell them all in the pod.
I know. So what did he think? Did he like it?
He loved it.
Okay,
Yeah. He thought it was really fun and funny and sweet. Which was nice. It's a good date movie.
Yeah, it's fun. It's lighthearted.
It's funny. That scene when they are Mitzi and Bernadette having that heart to heart in the restaurant. And then I didn't get the chance to tell them I had a good childhood. And then Mitzi's like, I have to tell you something. And then they just see Felicia run past. And they're like, oh shit. And they're having this heart to heart. And then you just see Guy Pearce running. Like,
in a dress and a wig from a bunch of
amazing.
bands.
Amazing.
I like when one of my favorite scenes is when they go into the bar in the first city they come into and everybody stops because they're in full galia, they're in full drag. And the one woman in the bar, or Bernadette tells the one woman in the bar, or what does she say?
She says, why don't you put a tampon
in your box? Because that's the biggest bang.
Light it on fire and blow your box off because it's the only bang you're going to get.
There it is. That still makes me laugh.
And then when Bernadette beats that guy up, just like, there, now you're fucked.
Yeah.
And then just gently sweeps her hair back. I am like, oh my God, amazing.
Yeah, Terrence, the guy that plays Bernadette, he had a little bit, he was nervous. Terrence Stamp was nervous to take the part because he's never played anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
When he was getting cast. And then they were going to, actually, the original person they had asked to play Mitzi, it was Tim Curry, and he turned it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that would have been kind of interesting, though.
I loved Hugo Weaving, though. He had a vulnerability to it, and
yeah,
it
the one thing that was interesting at the time this film came out, it was very like a career curse for a straight guy to play a gay character in film. That's what they said. That's what the mentality was. And I was reading an article when I was researching this that all three actors went on to play very masculine roles and have very masculine.
Afterwards.
Yeah. Where in Hollywood, I guess, at the time in 93, 94, when this came out, it was a no-no. People were like, nope, career suicide. And now it's no big deal.
Yeah. Well, there is a bigger conversation about casting LGBTQIA people to play those roles.
Yeah.
That it's if you're going to create that space in Hollywood, that there isn't a space for them, and then you're going to cast straight actors to play them. It's kind of oh, okay, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Still love this movie. When was the first time you saw it, Tony?
I actually saw this in the movie theater, junior year in high school.
You saw it in the theater?
I snuck to the theater. I did not tell my mother what I was going to go see because I would have been in so much trouble. I went with two friends from high school, and we went to Landmark Theaters in Hillcrest because that's where it was showing. Yeah. And I remember I was so nervous to go because I was like, I know my mama's going to show up. She's going to watch me walking in, because we weren't allowed to go to what's it called? Landmark Theaters, because they played the risky films. The art house films. Yeah, we weren't allowed to watch those. So I knew just going to I'm like, somebody's going to see me from the church or from the Kingdom Hall, and I'm going to get reported. And that's it. My mom's going to find out.
Wild.
But no, that didn't happen. We went and saw the movie, and I loved it. I had never seen anything like that. Yeah, before. And I was,
Yeah.
I had to be 16 or 17. So it stuck with me. Like I just
Were
quoted the movie
you
after that, all that shit.
were you out at the time?
No, I wasn't.
What was that like
Yeah.
for you? Were you
And
like
yeah, well, the friends I was with knew, but they were
Mhm.
like the only people that did. So I
Yeah.
was that's why we went, and it was kind
Mhm.
of like a top secret little mission. We're gonna go into Hillcrest, the gay
Yeah.
neighborhood. You know what I mean? That's what it was. And like we sat, like we had hoodies on and everything, trying to be real sly going in. But that all like went away like within the first 10 minutes of the movie. Had so much fun watching it. So since then, I've watched the movie many, many times and own the movie. And watching it again, I just forgot. And I remember turning to Rob and go, I forgot what a good movie this is and how it makes you feel. And I forgot about like, it's really about friendship and the whole relationship between Tick and his son, and like his son accepting him and like making no big deal about it. And then with Bernadette, because she's older and just like, finds love at the, I don't know. It's just such a good movie. Yeah, I
So
loved it.
good.
The other thing with this film that I really like is that they actually went to all these towns in the outback and they didn't say
Yeah.
what the film was going to be when they got there. So a lot of the town like people were in the actual film, and that's their genuine
We're
reaction
like, what
to
is
watching these drag
happening?
queens. Yeah, for sure.
So funny.
Oh man. Wait, are we halfway through? No? Okay, I thought he held that up. Sorry.
Producer Rob held up a 15 minute sign.
Okay,
We're not
that's what I
supposed to
yeah, I
talk
wasn't
about
paying.
that.
I know I
You're not
wasn't paying
Edit
supposed
this
to
out
attention.
of the
reveal
pod.
movie magic.
I know.
Edit
Well,
it
the thing
out.
was I was talking and I saw something go up over here, and I was like, "What is that?" But I can't look.
You're doing
So
it says you're doing a great job, Tony. I love
yeah.
you, Rob. Yeah,
Oh
I
goodness.
mean, there are just so many like awesome, impactful parts of this movie. Like just at the end, when like Hugo Weaving Mitzi is so like he faints because his son sees him in drag and he's
Yeah.
so worried and nervous. And then it's just like, you realize that your kids are what you teach them. And then we realize that his Mitzi's wife has had a girlfriend and that
Yeah.
she's just living her life, just like happy and just like
Doesn't give a
telling her
shit.
son
Yeah.
everything. She's like, I don't care. And so he's become an accepting person as well. So then Hugo Weaving is like worrying about this. And then you're like, no, if like you give your kids the chance and you teach them, like they will be accepting and beautiful and nice. And then that end scene
Oh, I
where it's
know.
Felicia and Mitzi and the son, and they're all just singing and they're in the
Yeah.
bus. And I'm like, oh my God. It's like, it's such a wholesome movie,
It
except for the
is.
ping pong
And
scene.
Except for the
singing
ping pong.
and singing ABBA, which the kid requested.
Right at the end, and they're in the
Yes.
oh, I love it. I like the relationship between Tick and or Adam and the son. They're like brothers.
Yes.
It's like a big brother, little brother thing, and
Yes.
it all happens in when he's like, "You want to play with my Legos?" And it's like you
Yes.
see Adam go, "Oh my God, somebody I could relate to."
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Do you know what I mean? It's so cute.
Intellectually on the same
Well,
level.
Right.
He also got acceptance from the kid because he
Yeah.
was like asking him, do you know what your dad does? And he's like, yeah, so what? And, that's when he reveals, like, my mom had a girlfriend for a while, will my dad have a boyfriend? And like, you could see Adam also just like be like, that's right. This is
Yeah.
normal and boring and can be just la-di-da and a safe place for kids too. Like, I
Yeah.
thought it was a beautiful moment.
And I mean, they definitely didn't shy away. There's this scene where Felicia goes out to have fun after she has the cocaine. And then,
After she was told to stay put and behave.
And
I was
she
like, why
did
did
it.
they leave her alone?
Yeah, they shouldn't have trusted her.
I know.
I've left her alone. When she pulled out that cocaine, though, I was like, yes.
All the drugs. Yeah.
And then she gets chased by those dudes.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
because it just like you
It showed some-
realize that like, oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say it showed it besides being funny and like lighthearted, it does show like how it really is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they didn't shy away from that kind of subject matter
Exactly. And,
of like that scene, and then what they paint on the bus, AIDS fuckers go home. It was
Yes.
like it brought everything back to reality in the film, because up until then it's very lighthearted, and you see that part and you're like, oh fuck.
Like
Well, just a reminder that not everywhere is safe for these people, and how messed up is that, that they can't just road trip, that their road trip has to be, watch where you're going and look over your back and make sure you're surrounded by like-minded people, because otherwise your life is in danger, girl.
Right.
Literally. You in danger, girl. That's from a different movie. But.
That you've actually watched.
Yes, I have.
I know. Jeez.
When
I got to watch that one at my grandma's house.
Oh, you
Don't
did.
tell my mom. No.
That's a sexy movie.
It is. What were you gonna say, Brynne?
When Bernadette gives the speech about like, I learned how to I'm tough. I learned how to fight because I had to learn how to fight.
Yeah.
She's like, don't let it break you. Let it toughen you up. And then she talks about suburbia, about how is it to keep them out or keep us in, and you realize that it is like right underneath the surface. It's whimsical and fun, and the costumes are amazing, but it's that edge right underneath.
Yeah, which is, I think that's one of the big appeals of the film, is that it does that. It keeps it very lighthearted and fun, and you really enjoy it, but it also makes you really invest in the characters.
Exactly.
So then
How is this?
Huh?
No, go ahead.
So then by the end of the film, it's like when everything happens and it ends very nicely, you just like are like, oh, thank God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What, Jonsey?
How was this movie received at the time? Like,
It did
awesome
really
that
well. It did really, really well. This movie, Muriel's Wedding, Sweetie, and there's a couple other Australian movies that came out around this time, and it really put Australia cinema on the map, like as one of the big contenders. Because like Muriel's Wedding, I think, came out after this in '95.
I think so. Yeah.
or 6,
Lena, have you
something
seen Muriel's Wedding?
I
Muriel's?
have seen parts, but I don't think I've seen the whole thing.
It's so good. We got to put it. You got to watch the whole thing. Oh, and the dad that's in Muriel's Wedding is also Bob Wallace. He's in this film, which I was like, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I was more asking how this movie was received as far as the LGBT.
Very well, like it's
in the early 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's before Will and Grace were on the
Mhm.
TVs and part of normal everyday life.
It
I'm
did very well.
surprised that it was received well in the 90s.
Yeah, it did really well in the box office. And within just the gay community, the gay culture, queer culture, people loved it. And it's just like, it really also changed when I was reading up on it. It also changed the trajectory of drag in Australia too when this came out, because this was before RuPaul's Drag Race and all of that. So here in the US, the year after in '95, Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Judy Newmar, their version of Priscilla's Queen of the Desert came out here, which didn't do as well, and didn't like
Is it
culturally
literally
didn't
their version of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert?
No, but it's the same kind of idea.
Okay.
3 drag queens get in a bus car and they go across the US.
It's essentially the same. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a ripoff. It's
Because you know how sometimes
hey, this is our American version.
Right. Like,
we're
there's
gonna
the
do
Office and then the British Office.
I
and
like
then
Tu Wong Fu,
Shameless
but
and US Shameless.
But people
I like it.
but people really like Priscilla more, it seems like, when I was reading about it.
The drag in Priscilla is actual drag. Like the costumes and the makeup and when they do the performances. And like Tu Wong Fu is like,
I loved the Sydney Opera House that they made.
Oh,
at the
yeah, right?
end of the number, like when they go into the motion, I was like, I recognize that.
The costumes for this, every outfit is just like, whenever they get in drag, is just so over the top. There is only one. When we were watching it, I was like, this is the one costume and wig combo I hate. I hate it. It's when they're in this small town before Cynthia comes on stage and they do Get Your Groove thing, the ping pong scene. I hate those. Yes, I don't know why.
Take the pigtails off.
I hate that outfit in that wig. I hate it.
Loved it. You know what's so funny to me is that I legit was like, we should dress up like that for the podcast.
Okay, not those ones. Jesus
those exact ones. I was like, yes.
Oh God, I hate
like
those
that.
ones. Even I remember watching this in the theater when I was like 17, 16, and I remember hating that costume even. And I was like, no, No, I hate the knee. No, it just bothers me for some reason.
I
That's
just love when
hilarious.
they rip their pigtails
Yeah,
off.
they swing around. What's your favorite outfit or costume in the film, Brynne? Since this film won the Oscar for best.
I
costume
love the
design.
lizard, like the
Oh yeah,
when they pop
Yeah.
it open
and their faces. I mean,
yes,
Hugh
and-
Weasley. I mean, his face is like
so amazing.
I
He
know.
did great in that
Yeah.
number, but I was underwhelmed with his performance in the finale number. I was like, I need your like.
Yeah,
oomph
they
that
weren't
you had.
dancers.
No. Yeah. And you can tell their wigs are so heavy. Like
Oh,
in the
yeah.
desert scene when they're doing I Will Survive,
Mhm.
they're like barely moving because they're like, these wigs are going to fall off of our head.
Right.
Like,
So, what was your favorite costume? The lizard one?
the lizard one. And then I love the silver with Guy Pearce on top.
Oh, yes, I love that
Ugh.
scene when he's in the high heel, the
Amazing.
silver high heel, and going through the desert.
Yes.
It's iconic. I mean, it's on one of the movie
Yeah,
posters. It's
yeah,
that
exactly.
one. What about you, Jonesy? Your favorite part or the favorite costume in the film?
The Sydney Opera House.
Yeah.
Because at first, like I could see what they were doing with each little thing, and then at the end, I was like, "Well, what are these things supposed to be?" And then when they go into the final pose, I was like, "Oh, I love
You
it."
got all excited.
I did. Like I kind of understood the theme, but I didn't for
Yeah.
that one until the very end. So it
Oh,
was a
how
nice
funny.
reveal.
I
about you,
also thought
Johnny?
it was really cool because this one did win the Oscar for costumes. That the drag queen in the barber chair at the end. That's the costume designer in drag, Tim Chappell, or the assistant.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love that.
I was like,
figured
oh,
it had to be someone that
Right?
meant something.
Yeah. And when I was researching, I remember when this won the Oscar because one of the costume designers, she wore that gold dress. It was a gold dress, but made out of gold American Express
Yes,
cards.
the golden. Yes.
Do you remember that at the Oscars?
I
do
remember
remember
that.
Yeah, she was one of the designers for this film and won the Oscar. She was
Yeah,
up there.
that's amazing.
Isn't that
I
crazy?
had no idea. I remember that from that time frame.
Yeah,
Oh,
me
that
too.
was
I was
I had no idea about this movie.
That and the Bjork swan dress.
Well, everybody.
I remember
remembers
that
Bjork
one too.
songs. That and Cher.
And
With
Cher.
Cher. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a
Yes.
little kid. I had to be a little kid when I was teenager.
Yeah.
No, not teenager. I had to be younger than that when she won.
I think it was in the It was in the 80s.
Yeah, I was a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, should we do? Is it time for? Hold on, let me pull it up. Now that we're
Let's start.
Dolly Parton.
Rachel
Producer Rob, you're gonna be
Maddow,
having a job soon.
I spend
know.
an hour with her every single day.
I once played a drinking game with
Celine Dion, Liza Minnelli. Cher, Laura Dern. I don't know her.
Who would you say is the most famous person in your phone?
my good friend Ben Affleck and his crippling addiction to back tattoos.
I have the best Lady Gaga story of all time.
Hate him, loathe her, over them, cancel it, tell me everything.
Yes, it's our name drop segment. It's like our 6 degrees of separation, but we call it name drop. So, who are we going to pick from this film, The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and our next film? Brynne?
This is going to be so
It's gonna
hard.
be hard.
No, we're not.
I'm not even going
get
to try. I just let you do it.
Because who is it? So we could do like Hugo Weaving,
Guy Pearce is probably going to be the easiest. Don't
but we
you
did
think?
Guy Pearce last time.
Oh, that's right. So we have to do Hugh Weaving.
And then who even knows the only person that I can think of
I know. What did we do to
in the next
ourselves?
movie is Jeffrey Jones.
I don't
He's
even
the-
remember.
He's the ginger guy. He's the guy from Stay Tuned. He plays the devil in Stay Tuned.
Yes, I remember
He's
him.
the
Yeah.
principal from Ferris
Ferris
Bueller's
Bueller.
Day Off.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we can do this. We can do this.
Okay, so Hugo Weaving to Jeffrey Jones. All right.
I don't know about this. I'm a little scared.
Okay.
Oh
Okay.
gosh. Okay, so we'll revisit this at the end of the episode and see if any of us got it. If anybody is watching, put it in the comments below.
Please.
If you can get it, because this one's gonna be hard. So now I wanted to get to Jonesy's opinion of this film and what she thought of it, because she's never seen this before. This was her first experience with Priscilla. First off, did you know, Jonesy, that they turned it into a Broadway show, a musical?
For real?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I feel like you're messing with me.
I swear to God. I swear.
I feel like after last week you're messing with me.
No, I swear to God, they dropped The Adventures of and it's just called Priscilla, Queen of the
Priscilla, Queen
Desert,
of
the
the
musical.
Yeah.
I would see that. Absolutely.
Yeah, and they have a lot of this costumes in it and all that same thing. So what did you think of this film since it's the first time you've ever seen it? Like, what was your first impression, and how would you have responded back in the day when you saw it?
I loved this movie. A++. Gets a stamp in the passport. I cannot wait to watch it again. Like, I wanted to watch it again before we even did the podcast. I forgot to take notes because I would just kept watching it. Like, I forgot what I was actually watching it for and just enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I very much love this movie. I also really like the road trip genre.
You do? Oh, okay.
I really like the road trip genre. I mean, one of my
love it.
favorite movies of all time is Tommy Boy.
Gosh,
I'm
that's
sad
right.
that you've seen Tommy Boy because that means we can't do it on the podcast.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll play dumb, although I know every word.
She don't
But I'll
even need
play
to
dumb.
watch it that week. She just shows up, wings it.
Producer Rob has Priscilla.
Yeah.
Lena has
That's
Tommy Boy.
Love it.
Did they turn Tommy
Love
Boy into a Broadway musical? I can't remember.
Can you
I'll do it.
imagine?
I'll take
That would
that on.
be amazing.
We should do it. We should.
I'll
Oh my
take that
God.
challenge on.
All right.
Heck yeah.
That would be so fun. Waterboy the
Holy
musical.
Shnikes, the musical. Yeah.
I can't wait to have the animatronic deer that you'll have to have. for
Oh
this.
yeah. We'll have a song, like a sad ballad from the viewpoint of the deer.
Dear. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay,
Oh,
we
God.
need to make this play.
All right. Okay, go ahead, Jonesy. What'd you think?
So
What else?
loved it. Let's see. This movie came out when? Early 90s,
94.
93,
94.
94.
Yeah.
So I would have been in like 5th grade, 6th grade. I probably wouldn't have been allowed to. Well, I wasn't allowed to see it even in high school. But
They would have been like,
I feel like if I had seen this movie in high school, I would have loved it because I would have been blown away. It would have been my very first introduction to drag queens. The only kind of drag queen I knew of was Mrs. Doubtfire, Robin Williams. Like,
Really?
That was about it.
That's not right.
No.
I know that, but I'm saying that's where my extent of
Introduction.
knowledge of men dressing in women's clothing, that's where it began and ended. So
Wow.
yeah.
Wait, I have a question. When was the first time you were introduced to drag?
When I lived in San Diego,
Really?
Hillcrest. Yeah.
Okay.
Really? Not until then?
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
that
I
was
knew
right when I
of-
met you. Right
I
when you
knew
got here.
of RuPaul.
Yeah.
And so like then I knew a few different actors have done it for comedic purposes.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Eddie Izzard has done it. I can't remember the other.
Eddie Izzard is
What?
awesome.
like no, it's not for comedic purposes. That's the way Eddie
Oh,
Izzard
he
uses
likes to
yeah.
dress.
pronouns,
He
like-
likes to dress as in
I think
dresses sometimes and wear makeup.
well a
Yeah.
lot of the time, like Eddie Izzard just came out and changed their pronouns. I'm not sure what they are, but like that.
Yeah,
I
can't
didn't know
remember.
that.
Yeah. I
See?
saw that too, but now I can't remember what they are.
She okay,
She,
yeah.
that's
So
what
she,
it is.
so
Thank you
she
for
that
the
is the life that she's living.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I did.
Yeah.
That's a recent development that I did not know.
Yeah.
I
didn't know.
met her as a him in Hyde Park in London.
Oh,
He had
really?
he had just got done playing a football match with some friends, and he was totally cool to me and the whole Jones clan. And then we were like talking about him, and we recognized him as the voice from Madagascar. And I'm pretty sure he was like,
So
"What
good.
is this family, and why do they know me from a kids' cartoon?"
Out of
Wow.
everything. Eddie
Yeah,
Izzard
that's
stand
a-
and changed my life.
That's my
So your real introduction to drag would have been here in San Diego when you came here.
correct.
Okay.
I didn't know that it was like, I knew that people did it in the celebrity world. I didn't know that people did it in the everyday world and made money off of it. Like, I didn't know that was a thing. And I
Yeah.
still sometimes feel like I want to do that. Can I do that? But I don't want to
basically
dress up
Dolly
like
Parton,
a man.
yeah.
I just want to dress up like an over exaggerated woman and lip sync.
Yes,
and
that's
make
Dolly
money.
Parton. You want to be
That's
Dolly
Dolly
Parton.
Parton.
We all
Want
want
to
to be
be-
Dolly Parton.
She's
Yes.
actually sings.
bio
though.
queen. It would be a bio
I don't
Yeah,
want.
have you seen
Yes.
my shirt, pro science, pro Dolly, baby.
I love it.
Nice. Brynne, when was your first introduction to drag? Like, do you remember?
Oh, very young.
Why am I not surprised?
I was always into it. My dad took me when we went to Vegas when we were young. My dad took me to a drag show.
Oh, really? Nice.
He just knew I was into theater and stuff. He just thought I would love it. And I always loved Dolly Parton. And my dad always thought that drag was really like fun and they were all funny and cool. And yeah.
That's
we were very young.
I found out
very
it
young.
was much later in life. I found out as an adult.
What drag was.
I just was like, this is performers. Like I just saw them as performers, and that's what my dad saw them as well. So it was like, this is a performance. Like we went to Vegas, we would like go and see the drag shows.
What I'll say like about this film is it kind of gives you a look at drag before RuPaul's Drag Race, because RuPaul's Drag Race changed even how us as audience members view drag now. Do you know what I mean? Where in
it was
this
very
film,
interesting to see the older makeup techniques.
Yeah.
And
even in Tu Wong Fu, the makeup there until like probably toward the end where John Leguizamo is all done up, all pretty. That's the only time in that film that I was like, okay, that's kind of like RuPaul-ish in a way. But before that, even in that film, it was a different type of drag than what we see now because of RuPaul's Drag Race. I think. Good. Yeah.
I agree.
I also think because of online makeup tutorials. Like I feel like that has made drag totally changed the ball game for drag.
Yeah.
And like what we think of as drag now, people have access to more, oh, well, now I can learn that trick and stuff instead of just, figuring it out for yourself.
Nope, that is true.
I've had this Trixie Mattel joke like stuck in my head all day, and I like had to explain it to the guy I'm dating because I'm obsessed with it.
What is it?
It's not really a joke. It's like talking about how we like things that get stuck in your head all the time. And Trixie was saying that the thing that gets stuck in her head all the time is, I wouldn't be surprised if we never saw Denise Richards again.
Oh, I watched that episode. It makes me loud. Yeah. Makes me, and she's like, I'll just say it whenever. I'll be
doing the dishes.
And say,
I wouldn't be surprised if we never saw Denise Richards again.
What is that from? Is that a Housewives reference?
Yeah.
Lisa Rinna says it on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. There's like this dramatic thing that's like, and then Denise stopped filming with the group. And then they go to Lisa Rinna and she's like, I wouldn't be surprised if we never saw Denise Richards again. And Trixie saying that it just gets stuck in her head.
I just need to hear Trixie say it.
Yes, and it'll be funny.
Yeah. Lena, I'm curious to know what Mama and Papa Jonesy would think of this film.
Oh,
this wholesome, beautiful masterpiece.
Wonderful film.
I was actually thinking about that whenever you were describing this movie as how wholesome it is, because I agree wholeheartedly. It is wholesome, but it would have never been seen that way by Ma and Pa Jones because it's about the LGBTQ community. I mean, that was just something that, like, I got into fights with my dad as a high schooler for wanting to watch Will and Grace. Like, it was just something that we removed from our household. It didn't exist. I always feared and prayed and hoped that myself and none of my siblings would be gay, because I knew that it would be a big thing in our family if it was, and they would be shunned. And they're homophobes. So this, I mean, there's no way nice.
No way.
There's no nice way to put it.
Will and Grace was also banned from my household, but only because my dad thought that the writing was hacky.
Really?
I've talked about this on the podcast before.
I think you have, I love Will and Grace.
Because I also loved it, and I would still watch it, and I would get,
So what would what if you were home and let's say you were watching this as a kid and your parents walked in on you watching it, what would have happened? How much trouble would you have gotten into?
Ooh, I would have been grounded. And since I wasn't allowed to do anything, grounded for me meant I wasn't allowed to watch TV, listen to the radio, get on the computer, listen to music, like which since I was a reader, it was kind of like, well, you can't take away my books.
Your parents would have grounded you for watching Will and Grace?
Oh no, for this
This
movie.
film. If
watching
they had
this
if
film.
they had caught her watching this film.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know. Well, I would
Yeah.
have too. I would have gotten in
But
trouble.
what
But
is
because
the
any
rationale?
of-
Because they think it's going to make you gay?
Oh yeah, that's what my mom thought.
What?
Oh, for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
because it's promoting gay culture, and since they think it's something that's a choice and it's a sinful choice at that separates you from God, well, we just don't have any of those things in our household, so we don't have homosexuality is a thing that doesn't exist, and you better not be it.
Okay, so if you just
that
close your ears
stresses
and
me out
eyes,
just
then-
hearing it. I don't like
But
it.
Tony, you said that
It
in
is-
latter day.
it was a very stressful way to grow up because also the whole time I was just terrified. Like, what if I am gay? What happens if I grow up and I'm gay?
Hey, that was my reality.
It's terrible. I know.
Yeah, I know. Well, and that's why I have so much empathy for people, because I can say I did grow up in that situation. I just turned out to not be gay, but like that's how much pressure they put on me that I was even worried about it. Like,
Yeah.
that's a little ridiculous.
It is. I agree. What were you gonna say, Brynne?
Well, because you said in Jehovah's Witness, like they literally felt like a demon would possess you if you watched movies like this.
Oh yeah,
right?
if you're watching any kind of horror movie or with demonic undertones or whatever, it was a gateway for Satan to take over and fuck up your life.
So what's
You're
demonic
inviting
about
it.
this movie?
Nothing. It was just gay.
They dress up like lizards at the end.
No, it would have been because the LGBTQ plus, that was a huge no-no in the congregation
Yeah.
and the religion. Oh, God forbid that. No way. It was no.
As a staunch Catholic, my parents were like, we do not care. I think part of the Catholicism is like, whatever, we'll just go to confession tomorrow and say, sorry, God.
Whatever,
And, like,
you and your progressive parents, Brynne.
Yeah.
God, yeah, so
Like,
easy.
we already have, like, I don't know, Catholicism has like its own demons and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's not a movie demon that's going to get you. It's a demon.
Demon
And if you're in
demon.
exorcism, you're going to die anyway. So you might as well watch good movies before that happens.
Would you
And
guys
just
ever get
have
in
a few Hail Marys.
There you go. Would you guys ever get in a bus and go through the outback of Australia?
100%.
Would you?
I
If I
have.
had their
You have?
alcohol content,
I
I would.
have.
I would. If I had that bar, I would.
I would. The bar inside the bus.
Yes.
I like that they have Adam underneath the bus sleeping. It's some little where the luggage, I'm sure, goes. That's where
And
his bed is.
also, he has managed to put a little bit of a sunroof so he can get a tan. Because, in Australia, there's just not enough sun
Not
everywhere.
Well, you can see them in the movie progressively getting more and more tan, like especially
Guy Pearce.
Alicia,
Yeah.
because spending so much time with a shirt off in like the desert while filming and stuff, like you can see that by the end is much tanner than in the beginning of the movie,
Yeah.
or like through different parts.
Yeah.
And I really love the scene where they go and have the like camp out with the people that are living in the desert.
Oh, the indigenous tribe.
Yeah, because
people,
they
yeah.
accept them because they're like outsiders who aren't
yeah.
accepted with other outsiders who aren't accepted, and they accept each other. The guy that I was watching it with was like, so they must have been like doing this routine all night because they had time to like get a costume for that guy and do his hair and makeup and teach him the routine.
See,
I
You're
love
like,
that
yes,
he's thinking
that's
about
how
the
movies work.
rehearsal process.
Yeah. I guess they would have had to stop, measure him, just the chest and hips,
Take
and
it
get
in
him
a
a
bit.
costume and teach him the dance. It's like, I don't think you're supposed to be thinking about that.
Yeah, no,
But
not
we
at
saw
all.
Bernadette knows how to sew, so she
So
just
she
whipped
could
something
have.
up
She
real
could have
quick.
just
Yep.
whipped it up in the bus and said, "Hey, here you go."
Yep.
Seriously.
And all those good-looking martinis.
I know. Just get yes. And there's
Yeah.
so many like memorable lines in the film too.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
So many.
So many.
So I do have to have a question.
Sure.
And I kind of asked this via text. but
Yes.
Is this where like the bye Felicia and all that
No.
kind of stuff? Is that where
No.
this came from?
No, it
This
tech-
existed prior to this movie.
No, after.
No, after.
So this movie originated.
Well, this
right?
is what I read. No, the phrase "Bye Felicia" came from Friday the movie. But after I read this on
Another
some
movie
forum,
I haven't seen. Just
Friday's
from
hilarious. One of the things I read was somebody may put this in one of the forums when I was researching the show or the movie, that Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, because of the character Felicia, that I think in Australia and other places, the name Felicia always referred to that annoying friend or whatever. So they would refer to people like you're being Felicia. So they were saying, well, it kind of started there by Felicia, and then it just showed up in popular culture, like in a film the next year, because Friday came out in 95 or 95 or 96.
I feel
and
like
then
they totally
said by
got
Felicia.
it from. Yeah,
From
they
there.
totally got it from
by
this.
Felicia. Yeah, that's from Friday, and
Yeah,
it
from
isn't.
Friday.
It's like
Did I
if you
say
actually
Friends?
watch the. Pardon me?
No, you said Friday.
Okay, I thought I said
Friday.
Friday. Okay.
No, Friday. Yeah. If you watch the movie, it's not like a big line. It's sort of
No.
a throwaway line. It's just like
It
by
is.
Felicia.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
yeah, but they always call her out, and so that was what made me think, like, is this what got Felicia in that way, kind of on the pop culture brain?
No, I guess you would say technically Friday did. That made it
But-
popular. Yeah.
There were a lot of lines in this movie that I was going, "That's what this is from."
It's from this one.
Yeah.
But you know what time it's for?
Dry martini.
Oui, monsieur.
Wait. 3 measures of Gordon's, one of vodka, half a measure of Kina Lily. Shake it over ice and then add a thin slice of lemon peel.
It's drink. I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another.
Grace, give me a stinger.
Yes, it's time for Grace. Give me a stinger. This is part of the show where we pair a cocktail and a little bit of nibblies that you want to eat and drink with this film. So, Brynne, what would you pair it with? I'm curious.
So I would pair it with. This one's hard because there's so many good
I know.
drinks. I would pair it with a Stoli martini,
Okay.
but they say Stoli in it. I like a
Yes.
Stoli, a Stoli martini. And what to eat? Do they ever eat? Just like a little salad,
A salad, that's it?
like a little dry salad, a little dry garden salad.
I would pick white cake with pink frosting
Ooh,
because she fell asleep in her cake.
fell asleep.
And then to drink something really fruity like a daiquiri. Actually, a daiquiri because that's what Hugh's
the end.
character has at the end. So daiquiri and cake would be mine.
Yeah, producer Rob would like to have a lime daiquiri for Bernadette.
For Bernadette. What about you, Jonesy? What would you pair it with?
I was also going to say a martini, or yeah.
Yeah, well, one of us has to pick a martini, and both of you did, so that's good.
Don't they drink those
Yeah.
at one point? Yeah. And then an Aussie sausage, because I noticed he was eating one of those at one point.
Yeah,
and they have a very specific taste, so it has to be an Aussie sausage.
Okay. Such
And
a
he was
weird
just eating it like this.
Yeah.
Like it was a carrot and he was Roger Rabbit. That's how he was eating it.
You've seen Roger Rabbit, right?
Yes, I have seen
good.
Roger Rabbit.
Good.
I meant Bunny. Who's the other bunny? You know who I mean.
Harvey?
Bugs Bunny.
Oh,
No.
Bugs Bunny.
Bugs
You got your
Bunny,
bunnies. You got
I
your
got my
bunnies
bunnies
mixed up.
confused.
Okay, should we revisit our name drop and
I got
see
it.
how did you
Of
get
course.
it?
It was actually really easy.
Are you how?
So,
Matrix or Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, which one?
Neither one.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, give
I'm
us who the
Oh no,
two actors
no,
are.
it is the Matrix. I did go through
Okay.
the Matrix. 100%.
Give us the two actors and then tell us how
Okay,
you got their brain.
So Hugo Weaving's to Jeffrey Jones. So Hugo Weaving was in The Matrix with Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves was in Point Break with Patrick Swayze. Patrick Swayze was in Dirty Dancing with Jennifer Grey. Jennifer Grey was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off with Jeffrey Jones.
Wow.
It was actually easier.
Did
than
it
I thought
again.
would be.
Yeah, now that I
haven't
think
seen
about
that.
it, that's super easy.
Yeah.
Point Break is another one I want to
the
see.
surfer
that I
movie?
You've
haven't
never seen Point Break?
No.
We have to do Point Break.
We have to do Point Break. It's Keanu Reeves and then who's the blonde guy in it?
Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze, duh. God, I'm like having a brain fart. That movie's like your typical bro movie, though.
Oh my gosh.
It's
so
very
much.
bro-y.
Yes.
You'd have to be ready for it, Jonesy.
Yeah.
Maybe we wait till my
Lori
hubs is
Petty.
back
Yeah.
and I can watch it with
Lori
him.
Petty? Lori Petty was in
Oof.
Tank Girl, right? That's
Yes,
Tank
I
Girl.
love
yeah.
Lori Petty.
Whatever happened to her?
I've seen Tank Girl.
That surprises me because I was like, we were talking about this the other day, and I was like, thinking to myself, Tank Girl, out of all the movies, she's seen Tank Girl, the most random one.
I was in a very like yay female mode in that moment.
Oh, you were?
But I have not seen
got it.
G.I.
Yeah, yeah.
Jane.
G.I. Jane's okay.
That's awful.
I mean,
It's
aren't
so bad.
most of me
It's-
movies not the best?
No. No. You know, I don't know why that makes me think of Mannequin, the movie.
Oh my God,
I love that movie.
You've seen that? Okay.
Yes,
Never
that we
mind.
had on VHS. I was
That
totally
is
allowed to watch that
wild.
one.
Wow.
And I do remember my parents being like, I don't like it when he's making out with the mannequin and then they walk in and, you know, like it goes to a mannequin. Like I remember that scene being like one
That
where
is
we're like,
weird.
We weren't
Mannequin 2
we
was
weren't
great.
allowed to watch it because my mom said that the mannequin comes alive and that happens because of magic, and magic is the devil, and you're gonna
makes sense.
yeah. So it was
Yeah.
off the
Tracks.
note. Yeah. Yeah.
honestly, I am a little surprised we were allowed to watch it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, now we're going to give our grades for this film and give our last final thoughts on the film, our little review. What did we give it last time, Jonesy? Last
So
week, what
both
did we
of
give it?
you gave it A+.
Yes. A+. And Brynne,
I'm
what are
going
you?
to take off my nostalgia goggles and judge it very seriously.
Okay.
Keeping an A+. So amazing. This movie is
Yeah.
so great.
It is.
You had me going for a second.
I know, I thought- I was
why
like,
are
wait
you
a-
taking off the nostalgia glasses? Does
Because
this
I don't need
require
them.
that?
It holds up and it's great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I love this movie.
And you'd recommend
Tony?
it for everybody, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would.
I would
Tony.
give it an A++ if I could. I love this
Mm-hmm.
movie. I forgot. I think the thing I love the most watching it this time is how much I forgot how good it is. Like, it's a really
Mhm.
good film. And not just a good film, it just makes you feel nice and warm and fuzzy inside by the end of it. And plus, it reminds me of being gay in the 90s when I was growing up. So, yeah,
I
the
also-
music and just, I
I
don't know.
love
It's
the
just,
family in it as
Me
well.
too.
This family, this mom, this kid, this dad, and how well adjusted. And she's just like, okay, you're gonna go hang out with your dad, who you've always known about but haven't met.
Yeah.
And mom's gonna have a little
that I
break.
was like a little like, I don't know if I would just be like, I'm done with Flynn. Take her away. I've had
I need a
years.
break.
She
Well,
didn't say take him away. She just said take him away for a while.
Yeah, and it's not just like about biological family. The family
Yeah.
that these three friends create amongst
Mm-hmm.
themselves too, is just really cool how they do it in this film. I really, really love it.
The
Well,
one
and
thing
I
I
just
could
love
do
how
without,
normal it is to that kid.
Yeah. What, Brynne?
the one thing I could do without is Guy Pearce's laugh. It's very jarring.
That is that laugh?
And it's like sometimes it comes out of nowhere and you're like, oh my God. Oh yeah.
Yes, Lena. What would you grade this film watching it for the very first time ever?
So I also give this an A++. I
Wait.
feel this is
Is this the first film we've
time?
all given an A+ to?
I
Producer
think
Rob,
so.
check the tapes.
Is it? Is it? Is it?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it is.
so. Yeah,
I was
I love
looking
this
for
movie.
something.
This is one of my favorite ones we've ever done on the show.
Ah,
Really? That's what
Yeah,
I. This
I
is.
can't-
That's what I was looking for, and I couldn't find it. So dumb. So an A++ all the way around, and you would definitely put this a stamp in the Filmspringa passport
For sure.
for
Because
sure.
yeah, especially, ex-evangelicals that are, trying to realize like this is normal. It doesn't need to be shunned or
Yeah.
demonized. Like this is just normal. Look how well adjusted this kid is. Couldn't we all be this kid?
I know.
Angelical
Seriously.
cats, angelical cats,
Did I say Jellicle?
Wow.
You said ex-evangelical.
Angelica.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna pull that so anytime she says ex-evangelical, we should just play it.
I'm just gonna have that song stuck in my head.
Now, yeah.
Well, speaking of
gosh.
songs stuck in our head.
Speaking of, yeah, it's good segue. Let's talk about our next film, or at least say what it's going to be. So next week, we're watching the 1984 Academy Award winner for Best Film, Amadeus.
Amadeus,
Amadeus.
Apple Danish, apple Danish, apple Danish. Yeah.
So yeah, haven't seen the movie. Do know that song though.
So I'm sure you kind of know what the plot's about.
Yeah, give us a synopsis though.
Yeah,
It's
go Jonesy. Based off the
about
post.
Mozart
Yes.
and his life and how he became Mozart.
He was
and
born
That's all I
Mozart.
got.
Yeah.
Well,
Close
how he
enough.
came to be symphony legend that we know him as today.
Yes.
I remember this movie being very horny, so I will
Very
be
horny.
disappointed if it is not as horny as I remember.
Okay, Brynne,
Was Mozart a freak in the sheets?
Oh, wait till you watch the film. Wait till you watch the film. And Brynne, what would you grade this film?
I'm gonna give it a B.
Okay.
Because I remember it being like a little campy.
Yeah.
And, like, it did get nominated for an Oscar, right?
It won the Oscar.
It won the Oscar.
For Best
So it
Picture,
can't be
I
that.
wanna
I'm
say.
gonna give it a B from my childhood perspective of like maybe it was too adult for me at the time.
And
but I remember it being the horny level I like.
And it's based off the Broadway play.
Too adult, horny,
Stage,
love
yeah.
it. This was a play?
Yeah,
Is the play first?
Yeah,
You
the
couldn't put this on the stage.
1979 stage play Amadeus. They turned it into a movie. So
Interesting.
I'm gonna give it a B.
Okay.
Yeah, this isn't one of my favorite period pieces. You know, I love Ivory Merchant film. I love
me
Give Me
too.
Some Ivory Merchant.
We
but
gotta do Room with a View.
I don't
do.
even know what that is.
You'll learn. You'll learn.
We're gonna
little
teach you,
one.
darling.
But that's it for us. That is Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, or The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. You can follow the podcast at Filmspringa on Instagram, Facebook, and you can email us at filmspringapodcast@gmail.com. Give us any recommendations or just send us an email. We want to hear from you. Remember to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and all of that good stuff. And yeah, that is it for us. Yes, yeah. And we'll see everybody next week.